So the rumors are true. This is now a Disney Channel. And come along with me today as we explore Disney World.
She's a red hot magazine girl.
Psych! Christine, myself, and some very special friends all ventured to the Mini Time Machine Museum of Miniatures.
She's a red hot magazine girl, and she's living in a dream world. She's a souped-up mama.
So the Museum of Miniatures is, unsurprisingly, a museum in Tucson, Arizona, full of architectural, interior design, sometimes manic pixie, miniature art. Let's jump into the history. So the museum was founded in 2009, and it's a product of the large collection of miniature visionary Pat Arnell, who is actually life-sized. The museum is dedicated to preserving and advancing the art of miniatures for all. They find themselves inspired by the quote from Van Gogh, "Great things are done by a series of small things put together." Now, today we recognize that Van Gogh's words, although inspiring, are a product of their time. The more appropriate word for small is miniature, or informally, mini. When referring to a naturally sized human, use words like life-sized rather than normal.
Boo! You stink!
Christine and I went with our friends, in no particular order, Ben, Patrick, Jack Henry, and Nathan. They had a best day ever prior to visiting the Museum of Miniatures, so it had high expectations placed on it. Now, tickets are $15 per person, and it was hotter than the surface of the sun outside, so the air conditioning alone was worth $15. But another way of looking at it might be that a combo number one from In-N-Out with a milkshake is also $15. So I'll use the enjoyment I could get from a combo number one as a reference point for my enjoyment of the Mini Time Machine Museum of Miniatures. We paid our fares and strolled inside, and up first was this star room, which was pleasant to gaze at, and then after that was an exhibit of miniature houses and other scenes from the 19th century.
Now come over here. This is an original Broadmeadow wooden doll circa 1835. That is a piece that you do not see every day. This is a really excellent original from 1884, but you can tell there's some Passy Rice restoration at play, probably circa 1986.
You can see some miniature farms, schoolhouses, and some very nice manors.
It's so off. The bowls are the size of the person.
By now, many of you are wondering, what's with this obsession with miniature art? Well, you unappreciative overlooker, it's because the skill of the artist, reflected in the detail and delicate quality of the work, reveals a worldview often overlooked, except by those who take the time to see it. I'll add my own thoughts at the end, but for now, maybe it's fair to say that what is so appealing about miniatures is that they force you to slow down and closely examine the detail in order to enjoy them. Following the 19th century room is a spread of 20th century and contemporary roomscapes, and my favorite piece, tiny pencil tip art. I would really like to know how often this artist broke a pencil tip and started over. This seems impossible. I mean, picture this man hunched over for hours carving a pencil tip with an X-Acto knife. I mean, come on, this stuff is extraordinary. Apparently it can take just as little as 6 to 12 hours. Also in this room, Jack Henry added his insightful thoughts on my weight loss.
You don't look like it, you pig.
This mini desk with miniature planes also boggled me. I mean, imagine if you sat down to try and do this. Where would you begin? The smallest paintbrush I've ever seen is the size of one of these planes. Maybe that's an honest critique of the museum. It's possible that I missed it, but I would have appreciated seeing how these miniatures are made. Some could say that this would take away from the magic, but I don't think so. This is a case where the human expertise behind the scenes is just as impressive as the product, probably more. Take this apartment. What's cool about it is that it's lifelike and accurate at the tiniest of scale. Aside from the size, there's really nothing distinguishing it from a life-sized but otherwise identical building. So seeing the human skill behind this tiny size would have added to the experience. But I'm just flapping my dang gums. To the magical forest room. Yep, the third and final room is dedicated to Dark Crystal style fictional worlds. There's a lot of fairies and gnomes and leprechauns, and those are all small, so I think these works are a pretty reasonable subspecialty of miniature art.
Now, these could very much be the next Labubus.
Also in this room was the only mechanized miniature piece. We saw the whole place in under an hour and headed back out to the hellish heat. As I looked at several of the mini houses and rooms, I often thought to myself, I want to live there. Like, look at this office, or this one. I would spend a lifetime in there. And maybe that's why some people collect or make miniature art. Having that office or that apartment in your actual home feels a lot like actually having that. It's living vicariously through the diminutive world. The second, more modern gallery was worth a slow walkthrough, but unfortunately, once you've seen one 19th century farmhouse or pixie miniature, you've kind of seen them all. So several people ignored the rating scale that this channel has, but here's what they had to say.
Go if it's free.
Go if it's free. Yeah.
Despite the excellent craftsmanship of some of the miniatures, I'm going to give this an avoid at all costs. It's a waste of my time.
Go if it's on your way.
Did I enjoy the Museum of Miniatures as much as a combo #1 from In-N-Out with a milkshake? Yeah, more or less. $15 might be a tad too much, but the Mini Time Machine Museum of Miniatures is nonprofit, so I'm assuming that they need each of those $15 to keep the place open. In which case, I'm happy to pay it. I'm going to give it a go if it's on the way. And remember, everything is cool as long as you go there cool. See you next time.